Liz Cahill is a poet, producer, and curator based in the Mission. Her writing explores the impacts of late-stage capitalism, income inequality, and waste, while trying to find beauty in the garbage age. She's also the co-founder and executive director of Decentered Arts in San Francisco, a nonprofit building community through art of all mediums. Liz, the mic is yours.
Thank you, everyone, and thanks, James, for having me. And it's fabulous to be here. I really admire the fact that James is coming to San Francisco once a week. It's a big trek, so I'm so happy to come to the East Bay to support this reading. And we were bantering about this a little bit before, so some of you may have heard this, but James is going to share an amazing poem he wrote about chocolate later. And I've never considered writing a poem about chocolate until this moment. So I thought, wow, I'm going to be reading at a beautiful chocolate shop. I should have a poem about chocolate. And as James mentioned, a lot of my work revolves around kind of climate and capitalism. So I was like, I'm not going to write a poem about like climate change impacting cocoa bean production. I'm not going to do a poem about supply chains or shipping. I'll spare you. I do have poems about those topics. If you're curious, talk to me later. But I wanted to write something a little bit more loving and tongue-in-cheek. And I'm the occasional chocolate eater. I love a good piece of chocolate. But my partner was joking today when I told him I had to write a poem about chocolate. He's like, I'm so chocolate obsessed. I'm a chocoholic. And I was like, that's it. I got it. This piece is called Chocoholics Anonymous. While I enjoy the occasional piece of chocolate in a sorted box, I'll pop one. But I'm not like my friend, who I'll call Mr. Anonymous. He's got a problem. Bars in the freezer, saved for later, tries to quit, leaves them on the street, and buys more in a moment that's weak. I told him, have you heard of Chocoholics Anonymous? It's a safe space to meet people going through the same thing. How to avoid gold foil and pretty boxes. Don't watch Willy Wonka. Look for chocolate close to the source. Cacao nibs and cocoa butter. Break it down to the components. And what is it about chocolate that has so many of us enthralled? There are other sweets, but chocolate has this je ne sais quoi. Consider the single truffle. Consider the kiss. Can you take just a tiny sip? Or would you be opening Pandora's box that would send you back to Chocoholics Anonymous? Thank you. And then I thought I would just read some more love poems. I typically associate chocolate with love, and we're in February, so whether you're single or dating someone, February should just be a month of love, whether it's romantic love or self-love or love of your community. So I'm going to read a few more love-oriented poems. With varying degrees of fuzziness. Love is also complicated. So this one is called A Couple Of. A couple of. We survive together, we thrive together. Heart opening can be a dissection process, an election process, a selection process, a selective memory, a throwback that throws you, a thorough analysis that pinches at the nuance. Well, that's human experience. We are learners, worriers, survivors, lovers. I can open my heart, sitting with my back to the wall, facing the door, not the other way around. But love isn't going to break my kneecaps because I've got too much, I know too much. My feet touch cement floors. I was meant for unbroken ground, to give love and mind, to dig a well, deep enough to drink from, to break the dam and taste water from the mouth. Life forms outside of me. Our love creates new life around us. Want to make life with me. Thank you. When you forage for me, love, wrap me like a fig, a wasp. Drop by dropping apricot, I listen to your heart. When you forage for me, love, an exquisite jewel, eaten to spread seeds, I feel prized and protected to receive. Passion fruit wrapped in a towel, smuggled to the city, defiant of our concrete and garbage reality. When you forage for me, love, you push back on control of our destiny by anyone other than our own hands, reaching up and down and into soil. Our short time on earth, some say it's dust to dust, but when you forage for me, love, I taste light turned into energy and spit out a speeding bullet of genes to grow the next one. Thank you. So fun fact, my partner, when I first met him, he lived in Berkeley, and he loves foraging. Berkeley, this East Bay, even San Francisco is great for foraging. There's so much fruit on trees. He would find stuff all over the place. He would sneak into people's yards and get stuff. And he would bring it to me in the city, and I was like, wow, that's so cool. And also this feels like so like primal that the person that is like trying to like love me and woo me is like foraging food for me. I was like, wow, this feels like ancient humanity. And yeah, I'm just amazed by how abundant the Bay Area is. This next piece is called, this is not about romantic love, but it's one of my favorites. It's called Setting for a Dream. Overwatered succulent on the windowsill of an apartment in a developer-built 5/1 sticks its browning leaves to the sun. Far from the desert it wasn't born in, far from the purple backdrop of mountains, the pebbly soil sand, the one gas station for miles, the crow watching the road from a post, all that was left of the fence, where the land was marked off for lots. The new homes the billboard promised went belly up in the subprime mortgage crisis. There's always hope before crisis. Bubbles are dreams fed by greed. The investors pushed for more. Money was cheap. Sign here and be done. Sleep well. Ignoring the tickle in the back of the mind, how is this all possible? How does success rise from the gleaming eye, like succulents propagated in plastic pots? One plucked from the desert mothers a line of little clippings. They grow, so does the wholesale price. Buy the plants, flip the plants, buy the plant, kill the plant. Move out of that apartment you never really moved into. If you look at the faded flyer for the artisanal farmer's market the succulent came from, you can see the high watermark. Now the tourists have gone home and it's the off-season, boarded up storefronts and for rent signs, waiting for the season to change, waiting for mad men with gleaming eyes to come upon a desert and call it paradise, and call for artists to beautify the derelict ruins, to dupe them into making a valuable container they don't own the deeds for. But the seasons keep cycling. The sun and the rain gives way to plants of all kinds. Even the harsh desert has its thick petal of rose. Can it belong to no one and every being all at once? I had to get like a little bit of my typical work in there. I don't know, I think a lot of people perceive a poet as somebody that like writes in like a notebook. I'm severely dyslexic, and I'm also just like a young millennial, so I write only on my phone. Which I think some more traditional poets find a little gauche, but whatever gets it done. This next poem is a short piece that I wrote earlier in 2024, but it feels relevant given the recent fires in LA, so I'm going to share this poem. It's called Tree Song. Before the fire leaves, before the leaves the buds, before the buds the branches, before the branches trunk, before the trunk the roots, Before the roots, the seed. Before the seed, the fire. Before the fire, trees. Thank you. And I'm going to do one more poem. I'm going to just kind of scroll through and see what I have recently. I'm going to read one more poem again. This is a little bit more crunchier. I kind of thought I'd start with like sweeter stuff and then dive into more like kind of current event focused work. But hopefully it ends on a funny note. This piece is called Covered California. Who's covered? I'm covered, yeah. Open enrollment just ended. I'm covered. I'm happy to be covered. Covered California. Jazz on hold. I pay more because I don't like filling out forms. The rent on my body is $606 a month, but I'm protected by a silver blue shield from a slightly larger bill. But with what I pay per year, it all comes out in the wash. But I'm a covered Californian. As an American, I'm covered in body oil, brokered by wars and regimes we support. I casually research the lifespan of certain men. Do they smoke? Are they overweight? Any comorbidities? They are covered too. Putting out Yahoo answers on the net, biding time under the trumpet vine. I close my eyes and see the Getty image watermark, the dollar before the .gov, the 3 horses of housing, healthcare, and education. Food and clothes are priced externally. I can pant myself and shirt myself. I can create a new account. My name is in a row and column carrying cost. One day, my name will be donated to science. Medical breakthroughs might be waiting in the wings of an artist's life. Thank you.